Imagine your body carrying within it a secret repair system, one that can reverse aging, heal damage, and regenerate new, vibrant cells, but here's the catch, it only switches on when you stop eating. That's the hidden science of fasting and stem cell regeneration. And once you understand it, you'll never look at food or your health the same way again. Think about the last time you scraped your knee or cut your finger. At first, the skin breaks open, blood comes out, and it looks painful and raw. But if you leave it alone for a few days, something magical happens. The blood dries, the scab forms, and underneath that scab, brand new skin starts to grow. A week later, you can barely tell the cut was ever there. That's not luck. That's not a miracle. It's your stem cells doing the repair work. They are the hidden builders in your body, the construction crew that shows up whenever something is broken and needs to be made new again. Stem cells are unlike any other cell in your body. Most of your cells have one job. Skin cells make skin, liver cells make liver. Muscle cells contract and help you move. But stem cells are different because they are like raw materials, unspecialized and flexible. They can turn into whatever the body needs. If you cut your skin, stem cells can become new skin cells. If your muscle fibers tear after exercise, stem cells can become muscle cells to repair the damage. They are the reason we can heal, grow, and stay alive. Think about a house. Once it's built, most of the rooms stay the same. Your kitchen remains a kitchen. Your bathroom remains a bathroom. But imagine if a pipe burst or the roof leaked, and suddenly you had the power to create brand new materials on demand, new wood, new tiles, new concrete. That's what stem cells do. They supply the body with fresh material whenever something needs to be fixed. Here's another way to look at it. Imagine you go to the gym and you push your muscles a little harder than usual. The next day, you feel sore. That soreness is actually tiny little tears in your muscle fibers. Your body senses the damage and sends stem cells to patch them up. But the beautiful thing is they don't just repair the muscle. They make it stronger than it was before. That's why when you consistently work out, your muscles grow and adapt. Without stem cells, this process wouldn't be possible. Stem cells also keep us youthful. When you were a child, you had a large supply of active stem cells. That's why children heal so quickly. A scraped knee on a child seems to vanish overnight, while an adult might take weeks to recover from the same injury. It's not because adults are broken. It's because our stem cell activity slows down as we age. The builders are still there, but fewer of them are working as hard. This slowing down is one of the main reasons why aging feels like a decline in energy, recovery, and vitality. Scientists have found that stem cells are sitting quietly in many parts of your body waiting for a signal. They're in your bone marrow, your fat tissue, your muscles, even in your brain. When the body senses an injury, stress, or a need for repair, it calls these cells into action. They rush to the area, transform into the needed cell type, and begin rebuilding. It's like having a repair team on standby, waiting for the emergency call. But here's what makes them even more fascinating. Stem cells aren't only about fixing obvious injuries like cuts and bruises. They're constantly at work behind the scenes, repairing tiny damages you don't even notice. Every day your cells are exposed to stress, toxins, and wear and tear. Stem cells are silently patching things up, replacing worn-out cells in your gut, refreshing cells in your skin, even supporting your immune system. Without them, our bodies would break down far more quickly. One of the most hopeful discoveries about stem cells is their connection to chronic illness. Scientists are exploring how activating stem cells can help repair damage from diseases like diabetes, heart disease, and even neurodegenerative conditions. It's as if the body has the blueprint for healing inside it, and stem cells are the workers who know how to follow it. The best part is that stem cells aren't something outside of us. They're built into us. They are a gift we carry from the day we're born. And the more we learn about how to activate and protect them, the more we realize the potential we have to not just survive, but thrive with energy, resilience. Imagine your body as a house you've lived in for years. Over time, dust builds up in the corners, old furniture gets worn out, and clutter starts to pile up in the garage. You can keep living in the house, but eventually the mess slows you down, makes it harder to move around, and even starts causing problems. Now picture what happens when you finally decide to do a deep spring cleaning. You haul out the junk, scrub away the grime, and suddenly the space feels lighter, fresher, and more alive. That's exactly what fasting does inside your body. It gives your system a chance to clean house before laying down fresh, new material. When you eat all the time, your body is constantly busy digesting food, absorbing nutrients, and keeping your blood sugar steady. It's like a kitchen that never closes, meals coming in, dishes piling up, someone always cooking. There's no downtime to tidy up or throw away the spoiled ingredients in the fridge. But the moment you stop eating and give your body a break, it can shift gears. Instead of working on digestion, it finally turns its attention to repair. This is where autophagy kicks in, a process that literally means self-eating. It sounds scary, but it's your body's way of recycling. Autophagy identifies old, damaged, or dysfunctional cells and parts of cells, then breaks them down into raw materials that can be reused. Think of it like sorting through a cluttered closet, tossing what's broken and saving what can be repurposed. Here's where the magic deepens. After this cleanup phase, your body doesn't just stop. It uses the cleared out space and the recycled materials to begin creating new, healthier cells. This is where stem cells come into play. Once fasting signals the body that it's time to repair and renew, stem cells wake up from their resting state and start to regenerate tissue. It's like after you've thrown away the junk in your house, you bring in brand new furniture that's strong, clean, and built to last. Another way to picture it is like a smartphone. If you keep running apps nonstop, the phone slows down, glitches, or even crashes. But when you power it off and give it a reboot, suddenly everything runs faster, smoother, and more efficient. Fasting works the same way. The reboot clears out the bugs, damaged proteins, malfunctioning cells, worn out mitochondria, and when your system powers back on, it's running on a cleaner, more efficient foundation supported by freshly activated stem cells. This process doesn't happen immediately the moment you skip a meal. In the early hours of fasting, your body simply shifts to using stored energy. But as you continue, something profound happens. Around 12 to 16 hours in, autophagy begins ramping up, and the cleanup crew gets busy. If you extend fasting further, that's when stem cells get the strongest signal to regenerate. It's as if the body says, okay, we've cleared out enough of the old junk. Now let's start building something new. That's why longer fasts can be so powerful for deep healing. The beauty of this cycle is how natural it is. Our ancestors went through fasting periods all the time, not by choice, but by circumstance. Food wasn't always available, and in those times of scarcity, the body learned to switch into repair mode instead of breaking down. Modern science is only now catching up to what the human body has known for thousands of years, that going without food for stretches of time doesn't weaken us, it renews us. Fasting is not about starving, it's about giving your body permission to heal. When you allow that pause from constant eating, you unlock a hidden repair program that's been inside you all along. First comes the cleaning out of the old, then comes the rebuilding with the new. It's a rhythm, a cycle. And when you lean into it, you discover a body that feels lighter, sharper, and more resilient. The timing of fasting is where the real magic comes alive, because every hour you stay in a fasted state, your body begins to unlock a new level of healing. It's like climbing a staircase, and with each step, a new door opens that wasn't available to you before. The beauty is that your body has built in programs for each of these time points, and all you have to do is give it the space to activate them. Around 12 hours into a fast, something subtle but powerful begins to happen. Your body starts to run low on the easy fuel from your last meal, and it begins dipping into stored sugar reserves. This is the point where you begin to shift away from constantly burning food and toward using your own energy stores. Think of it as turning off the lights in one room and turning them on in another. You're moving away from fed mode and into repair mode. Even though you might not feel it dramatically, your insulin levels are dropping, and your body is preparing to flip the switch toward fat burning and cellular cleanup. At 24 hours, the changes become more noticeable. Your insulin is now very low, and your body begins to rely more heavily on fat for fuel. This is also when autophagy, the deep cellular cleaning process, ramps up. Old proteins, damaged cells, and broken down parts are now being cleared away more aggressively. Imagine an office that's been cluttered with outdated files, broken equipment, and paper stacked everywhere. At this point, the janitorial crew comes in at full force, hauling out what's no longer useful. You may even notice that your mind feels clearer and sharper because your brain benefits from this cleanup too. By 36 hours, the body is no longer just cleaning house. It's preparing for full-on rebuilding. Growth hormone levels rise dramatically, sometimes 5 times higher than normal. Growth hormone is like the construction manager calling in the crew for a renovation project. This is the hormone that preserves muscle, mobilizes fat stores, and gives stem cells the green light to start regenerating. People often worry that fasting will waste away their muscle, but the opposite is true. This rise in growth hormone protects your lean tissue while encouraging fat burning. At this stage, your body is both clearing the old and priming the new. Then comes the 72-hour mark, and this is where the transformation goes even deeper. By 3 full days of fasting, stem cells become highly active. Your immune system begins to reset itself, producing new white blood cells that strengthen your defenses. It's as if the body tears down the old, weakened soldiers and replaces them with fresh recruits ready to protect you. Scientists studying extended fasts have found that this point is one of the most regenerative states your body can enter, a total reboot that affects everything from immunity to metabolism to longevity. Imagine pressing the factory reset button on a computer that had been slowing down for years. Suddenly, it's running like new again. The fascinating part of this timeline is that it reveals fasting isn't just about skipping food, it's about unlocking these phases of repair and regeneration. Each stage has its own gifts. At 12 hours, you shift gears. At 24 hours, the cleanup intensifies. At 36 hours, the rebuilding hormones rise. At 72 hours, your stem cells flood into action and your immune system renews itself. None of these benefits can be rushed, and that's the beauty of it. Patience is the key. The longer you wait, the more the body rewards you. Fasting is like peeling back layers. You don't get to the deeper healing without giving your body the time it needs to progress from one phase to the next. Each hour brings you closer to a level of repair that isn't possible when food is constantly coming in. It's not about deprivation. It's about allowing space for your biology to do what it was designed to do. When you begin to see fasting in this way, the waiting feels less like a struggle and more like an invitation to discover the incredible healing powers already inside you. Longevity is one of the most fascinating areas of science right now, and at the center of it are stem cells. These remarkable cells hold the blueprint for how we age, how we heal, and how we thrive. The more active and healthy our stem cells remain, the longer we can live, not just in years, but in vitality. Scientists are beginning to see that stem cells are like the fountain of youth hidden within us, and fasting may be one of the most powerful keys to turning them on. When we talk about aging, we often think of wrinkles on the skin, gray hair, or fatigue that creeps in as the years go by. But aging isn't just what you see on the outside. It's what happens deep inside the body when old cells stop working properly and begin to accumulate. These broken or sluggish cells don't regenerate well, and over time, they become one of the main drivers of age-related decline. Stem cells are designed to replace those tired cells with fresh, functional ones, but as we grow older, their activity naturally slows. That's where fasting becomes so powerful, because it doesn't just clean up the old, it signals stem cells to wake up and regenerate. Scientists studying longevity have discovered that fasting triggers the same pathways as some of the most promising anti-aging therapies. For example, during extended fasting, the immune system starts to rebuild itself by activating stem cells to generate new white blood cells. This reset can protect against infections and strengthen resilience, which is critical as we age. The idea that something as simple as not eating for a stretch of time could renew our immune defenses is groundbreaking, and it has sparked intense interest in how fasting might help us live longer, healthier lives. There's also the connection between fasting, stem cells, and brain health. Conditions like Alzheimer's and other neurodegenerative diseases are linked to the buildup of damaged proteins and the decline of healthy brain cells. Through fasting, autophagy clears out the broken pieces, and then stem cells step in to support the growth of fresh neurons and glial cells. This two-step process, cleanup and renewal, has the potential to slow down cognitive decline and preserve memory and focus as we age. Imagine not just living longer, but keeping your mental sharpness intact for decades longer than we once thought possible. Metabolic diseases like diabetes are another area where fasting and stem cells are showing promise. In type 2 diabetes, the body struggles with insulin resistance and the pancreas becomes overworked. Research has shown that fasting can help reset insulin sensitivity and even encourage regeneration of pancreatic cells. By reducing the stress load on the body and signaling stem cells to rebuild, fasting could support healthier blood sugar regulation and reduce the long-term damage that leads to complications. Cancer prevention is another exciting field of study. Cancer thrives on damaged, malfunctioning cells that grow out of control. By engaging autophagy and stem cell regeneration, fasting clears away precancerous cells and supports the replacement of healthy ones. Scientists are investigating how cycles of fasting might not only protect against cancer, but also enhance the effectiveness of treatments by making normal cells more resilient while leaving cancer cells vulnerable. It's as if fasting sharpens the body's defenses while simultaneously weakening the enemy. What's striking is that fasting isn't being studied only as a tool for weight loss, even though that's how many people first discover it. In the labs of researchers focused on aging and disease, fasting is viewed as a powerful therapy for regeneration, resilience, and longevity. The idea is that if you can keep your stem cells active and your repair systems working, you can extend not just your lifespan, but your health span, the number of years you live free of disease and full of energy. When you start to see fasting in this light, it shifts from being about discipline or dieting to being about unlocking the deepest healing potential of your body. The very act of stepping away from constant eating allows you to access a program of renewal that evolution built into your biology. Stem cells become more active, repair becomes more efficient, and protection against the diseases of aging grows stronger. This is the connection between stem cells and longevity, a connection that scientists are only beginning to fully understand, but one that you can start tapping into right now. Think of your gut like the soil of a garden. If the soil is healthy, full of nutrients and balanced with good bacteria, plants thrive easily. But if the soil is dry, cracked, or filled with weeds, even the strongest seeds struggle to grow. Your gut works the same way. It's the foundation of your health, feeding every system in your body, especially your immune system. When the gut is strong, digestion runs smoothly, nutrients get absorbed, and your defenses are sharp. When the gut is damaged, toxins leak through, inflammation rises, and immunity weakens. This is why fasting is such a powerful reset, because it gives your gut stem cells the break they need to repair the soil and restore balance. Every time you eat, your gut lining has to work hard to process food, absorb nutrients, and deal with whatever comes along with it, good or bad. Over time, especially with processed foods, sugar, or constant eating, the gut lining can become thin and inflamed. Tiny gaps start to form, a condition often called leaky gut. When this happens, unwanted particles slip through into the bloodstream, triggering the immune system to attack. It's like holes in a fence that suddenly allow intruders into your backyard. Your immune system gets distracted, working overtime to deal with these invaders, and as a result, your overall resilience starts to weaken. Fasting changes this dynamic in a profound way. By taking away the constant demand of food, your gut finally gets to rest. Instead of spending energy on digestion, it shifts into repair mode. Stem cells in the gut lining, which usually sit dormant, wake up and start patching the leaks. They rebuild the lining so it becomes stronger, thicker, and less permeable. It's as if you're fixing the holes in that fence, making it harder for intruders to sneak in. With every hour of fasting, the gut lining becomes more resilient, which means less inflammation and a calmer immune response. What's even more remarkable is how this process strengthens immunity. About 70% of your immune system lives in your gut, trained by the bacteria and signals that come through the lining. When the gut barrier is strong, your immune system isn't constantly on high alert. Instead, it can focus its energy on real threats like viruses, infections, and harmful bacteria. Fasting allows stem cells to repopulate immune cells, almost like recruiting a new team of soldiers who are fresh, strong, and ready for battle. The old, tired immune cells are cleared away, and the new ones take their place, sharper and more efficient. To put it simply, fasting gives your gut the chance to rebuild its foundation while also refreshing your body's defenses. Imagine pausing traffic on a busy road so construction workers can repair cracks and potholes. If cars keep rushing by nonstop, the road only gets worse. But when traffic is halted, the workers can do their job properly. That's what fasting does for your gut. It clears the way for stem cells to repair, making digestion smoother, nutrient absorption more effective, and immunity more reliable. People who struggle with bloating, indigestion, or food sensitivities often find that fasting brings relief, not because it avoids the trigger foods, but because it allows the gut to restore itself. And when the gut heals, everything else benefits. Energy rises, inflammation decreases, and the immune system becomes more balanced. It's not just about giving the gut a break from food, it's about allowing it to regenerate from the inside out. This is why fasting has become such a powerful tool, not just for metabolic health, but for whole body vitality. By healing the gut, you're also empowering the immune system, protecting against chronic inflammation, and creating a stronger defense line for the future. Stem cells in the gut are like gardeners waiting to restore the soil. All they need is the quiet space that fasting provides to do their work and bring the entire ecosystem back to life.